I recently met someone who moved here from a place called Montserrat, a place in the Caribbean. There was a massive volcano eruption in Montserrat that made most of that island uninhabitable. So all the residents and inhabitants of that island had to move elsewhere to all over the world. You know, you hear about it, but when you meet someone who has had to move because of a natural disaster, it makes you think the biggest disaster that we are all causing as a species is climate change. It is predicted conservatively that by the year 2050 there will be 150 million eco-refugees trying to find a place to live from all the coastal regions that by then been completely flooded. Wildfires, drought, famine, you name it, all the consequences of climate change. We freak out when 1,000 people turn up on our shores. There's all these action being taken to turn them away, even though they have nowhere else to go. But imagine 150 million people trying to make a home or find a home elsewhere. Despite this possible consequence, I believe we still have more than enough resources to feed and shelter every single person on this world if we all shifted collectively to a plant-based lifestyle, because that'll release up so much land, resource, water, fossil fuels to sustain all of us and nature as well. But when we deplete our resources in wasteful, unnecessary ways, i.e. the production of meat, dairy, eggs and fish, is the biggest causes of climate change. The release of methane, the release of nitrous oxide, these are the signature greenhouse gases that are causing more damage, more warming than carbon dioxide from all fossil fuel sources combined. Secondly, what we need to do is stop encouraging more of this farming to happen. And by that, I mean we need to pressurize governments to stop subsidizing these industries with our tax money. That money can go into subsidizing the same farmers to shift to plant-based food production. That money can also be used to compensate fishermen who will have to be made idle if we want to protect the oceans. Because only when we protect the oceans and enable life to survive in there do we have any hope of climbing out of the climate emergency. Not many people know about this, but oceans store more carbon than all rainforests and all soil in the world combined. But they have to be living for them to sequester the carbon that's burning our planet. The third thing we need to do is reforest and rewild wherever we can. So all the land that's going to be liberated by shifting away from meat and dairy can be used to regrow forests again. When that happens, we get to sequester all the excess carbon that's been released since the industrial age. This is how we cool the planet. So in summary, we stop the causes of it and we start healing by reforesting and protecting the oceans. We need an international moratorium, an immediate one, to stop fishing. I know how hard it is to even get governments to listen. We need to put pressure up on them. It's up to us now, because they only do what corporations force them to do, or if enough people pressurize them to change the laws. But in the meantime, while we're doing that, the thing that we can do immediately is to shift to a vegan lifestyle. We do not want to end up creating so much suffering and misery for millions of people as a result of our actions today. We don't want anyone to be eco-refugees.